everybody. How's my friends doing today? Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I do apologize for not coming back on for a couple of days, but this head cold had me down. It was crazy. I couldn't have talked more than just a couple of minutes without sneezing or blowing my nose, and my eyes were runny and all the things. So, anyways, feeling better. Everybody in the house has had it, so it's just the yucky old virus going around. Well, hello, Melissa. Thank you for being here. And hello, Blue Eyes and Miss Kathy. Hey, Charisse. Hope you're well. Hi, TJ. Melissa, thank you for being here. Brown Eye Girl. Hope you are good today. Thank you for being here. Hey, Couponin, how you doing? And there's Brown Eye Girls. Hello, hello. Hi, Miss Linda. Thank you for being here. There's Holly S. Thank you for coming in. And there's Smiley. Hey, beautiful. Let's see if we got anybody else up in here. Hey, Cheryl. Good to see you here. Guys, y'all are so sweet for being here with me. I really appreciate y'all. And there's Brianna. Hello. Yay. Thank you all for being here. And those who are not in chat, thank you as well for being here. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. Nothing much has been going on with me the last couple of days. Just kind of feeling down in the dumps. I got a headache today. It's just kind of some of that pressure, but it is all good. And yeah, that's about it for me. I live a pretty boring life around here, but anyways, so we're gonna do some talking about Sebastian tonight, guys, because my thumbnail, are they gambling his life, with his life? And I honestly believe that answer is yes. I really do. It seems to be a strategic game that is being played. And the more we read and see being put out on social media, the crazier it gets. And sometimes you got to read it twice just to make sure what you're reading is the real thing, because it's insane. Let's see. Y'all don't have my glasses on. I don't know why I think I can read without my glasses. It's crazy. Oh, look, I can see. Hi, Detroit City Rocks. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. I was like, we got somebody else in there and I couldn't read it. But before we start, kind of listening to some things that are being said and everything, there's one thing I wanted to read to you guys, and you probably have already heard it, or most of you have, but I'm going to read it again because it is so important that this man is a professional. Hey, Marin girl, how you doing? Thanks for being here. But Peter Hyatt is admired by so many. He's a professional. This is what he does for a living. He profiles people. He watches them. He is very intelligent. He knows his job and he knows how to do it well. People go to him for advice because he sees the signs, he reads the signs, he goes over it, and he talks to people about it. Well, he put out something, I believe it was yesterday. And guys, Peter has got cancer. I cannot tell you what kind or anything like that. Just say a prayer for him because the world needs people like him out there. But he said over many years, in person interviews for child abuse allegations, when boyfriend or stepfather introduces the topic of discipline, choosing his own words, the child was physically abused. Let me read that to you again. Make sure you hear this big and clear here. When boyfriend or stepfather introduces the topic of discipline, we've had the stepfather talk about the discipline. He used his words, he used discipline. Whack with the belt. His words. Choosing his words, then the child was physically abused. In missing children cases, analysis from transcripts, when the mother's boyfriend or stepfather talks about discipline, the abuse is central to why the child went missing. The boyfriend or the stepfather or the mother brings up discipline. It turns out to be that the abuse of the child is central to why that child went missing. The latter is far more intense due to the child's unknown to law enforcement and the public status and plight. Hashtag Sebastian Rogers case is an example of guilty seeking to control a narrative that he knows will condemn him. The guilty knowledge rises to the surface if we listen, if we are listening critically, not emotionally. It is his own words, not mine, yours, nor the interviewer. It's his own words. That to me, out of the whole 9.5 months of stuff being put out there, is the most informative information that has been put out. We've all been talking about it. We've all been discussing it. All the things about the stepfather. And now we have a post by Peter Hyatt himself, a very intelligent man that does this for a living and going over cases and studying it, analysis from transcripts. When the mother's boyfriend or stepfather talks about discipline, the abuse is central to why the child went missing. Guys, that's huge. That is huge because we also know that while there is this open CPS case that happened at the end of January, first part of February in there, that case is still open. And supposedly it was because Sebastian got spanked with the belt. Possibly. Because the stories get switched around, turned around, and turned upside down a lot. But guys, his words were to us, Sebastian was hoping that by telling on me, they might come and take me out of this house. And I think, honestly, that's exactly what happened. And now he's going to play it off as if that wasn't it. But just a couple weeks later, after this case is opened, Sebastian comes up missing. All of the CPS cases have to do with discipline and anger issues, abuse of some sorts. And why the CPS worker allowed it to continue constantly, I have no clue. But guys, it's out of control. In my opinion, I feel sadly that Sebastian was taken away from that home so that Chris could come back home to his house and he could get custody of his daughter. What happened to Sebastian? I don't know. I am so on the fence. I could go either way with it, but I don't know. I don't know. I hear different stories and I can see them all possible. But, we have the mother and father who are going to go out there and tell what's going on. But we have them telling us all these different stories that do not always match what they just told the last interviewer. And I'm not sure if they didn't know how it works here, but we all listen to each other. We're all trying to get the same information. So we're all going to pay attention. And we can hear with our own ears. The mother herself was studying, fell asleep, had a conversation with him, didn't have a conversation with him, stayed on the phone for almost 3 hours. All the things just depended on the interview that she was doing at the time. We have what sounds to everybody as a scripted play being played out. There's a script that's been put into play where this is what you're going to say, this is what you're going to do, and how you're going to act. And it seems like everybody is adhering to their script. And in my opinion, Sebastian's life is being gambled with. And I say that with confidence now that we have had the Roadhouse video come out. We have seen it. We've picked it apart. We've gone through every tiny detail of it. All the other channels doing the same. I mean, guys, it is insane how many times I've seen it. I can close my eyes and just see it happening all over again. It's been so many times that I've watched it, and each time it just proves the point to me that what we're seeing was a planned action. But yet we have law enforcement come out and say they've had a conversation with Green Hoodie. And they can confidently say Green Hoodie had nothing to do with the disappearance of Sebastian. It's kind of funny though, because from what I'm hearing, Chris's friend Carter is the one that had the conversation with so-called alleged green hoodie person over the phone. Never brought down, never put in an interrogation room, anything like that. And their version of what happened was this person was walking to go into Texas Roadhouse and just happened to be passing Katie between the cars there. But however, it was failed to mention that Green Hoodie had walked from the bushes that they appeared through, walked straight to a straight line to the side of Katie's car, right by her driver's side door, and stood there for 1 minute and 20 seconds. People don't do that just to casually pass by someone. If she didn't know Katie and had nothing to do with this, then she would have kept on moving. But she didn't. Green Hoodie stood by Katie's door for 1 minute and 20 seconds. And when Katie came out with Sebastian of Texas Roadhouse, Katie is reaching out to this person. Green Hoodie takes whatever she's got and then hands her something. There is an exchange. It's very plain to see. But all law enforcement did to me, Sumner County, and guys, this is my opinion, is they proved to me that they're covering up. They're in no way trying to clear things up. You see, law enforcement went there and got still shot pictures from the video. They didn't take the video. They just wanted proof of life of Sebastian. There he was. Showed the picture to his father for proof of life. And from what I'm understanding, it was Nick and Dog's teams that went and got the video footage. They were the first to get it. When that got out, a while later, we have Stephen Fisher, the PI, and Katie Proudfoot, Sebastian's mother, hauling butt to Texas Roadhouse to get a copy of that video. She was so pissed. She makes such a ruckus. I hear she's not welcome back there anymore. I can't prove that. I'm not going to call up there and ask. But she caused a big ruckus. What was so important to her to have to get that footage right then after she found out someone else had it? I would think she would be all excited that they had it and they could find out who was watching, who was hovering around, who was following them. But that would only be if a kidnapping situation had occurred. And you don't try to find out what might have been seen if there's nothing to be seen. It's just a casual walk to my car and get in my car with my son. Nope. He stood outside the car for a while watching. He gets in, and his mother finally gets in. She wasn't just passing by that person in the green hoodie. But that's what law enforcement is going to put a big statement out, wanting us to think that. Well, it's too late. We've already seen it with our own eyes. 1 minute and 20 seconds, Green Hoodie is standing between the two cars. When Green Hoodie finishes exchanging things, whatever it might be, they're waving to Sebastian, specifically to Sebastian. If it was a person passing by, why would they be waving to Sebastian? None of it makes sense, guys. None of it makes sense. They want us to think something. But when I heard that, you know, Carter is supposedly the person that interviewed Green Hoodie. Carter, Bobby and Carter, the two names that Chris Proudfoot feels very confident in throwing out there. I'll just get Bobby and Carter and we'll have a meeting. They were the ones, one of them was the one that took Chris for a ride around in the patrol car, telling him all kinds of things about the case that they knew. But Seth was never offered that ride. And he was, and still is, and always will be, the real father to Sebastian, unlike Mr. Chris. With what Peter Hyatt put out, I see things in a way that it actually kind of confirms what I have thought all along. But I always thought, man, I just don't like this guy. It's possible I'm just very one-sided with it. To me, he's a narcissist. He's a person who has control, has to have control, has to talk for his wife and protect his wife. But what is he protecting her from? Herself? But you see, Peter Hyatt, for me, clarified everything I had been thinking. Chris talks about the discipline. If his room's not perfectly clean, his stuff goes into a trash bag, and the child himself, Sebastian, had to carry his toys or whatever it was to the garbage can. I mean, that's cruel. I have, for my children in the past, you know, when they were young, I would tell them, I'm going to throw it away if you don't take care of this stuff. Well, if they didn't, I would put them in a garbage bag and put them in our hall closet, and told them when they decided to take care of what was left in there, they could have their stuff back. But that they didn't go in the trash. I didn't take their animals away from them. Animals are a commitment that you make, and you don't just take them away as a discipline to your child. Some people may, I don't. And when my son had to have my stepsister's weenie dog, we had Frank. We brought Frank all the way back home from north of Dallas. And Frank became part of the family. But my oldest, he started getting busy with football, going on dates with his girlfriend, that kind of thing. But instead of just leaving Frank hanging because he was Jared's responsibility. He talked to his brother and said, "Hey, look, can you take this over for me because I'm too busy?" They made that swap themselves because it's a responsibility. And if you want something, you have to be responsible for it. There's always consequences for your actions. Whether those consequences are good or they're bad, that depends on your choice. And we have a father who is paying for choices made at the home on Stafford Court. A choice that was taken out of his hands. A choice of whatever it was that happened. This child did not walk out the door and leave. We all know that. There is no scent. He was not seen on video. It just doesn't happen. Even in the back of the common area where it's pitch black, there's videos that caught 2 flashlights and you can see outlines. There's cameras everywhere. And the jammers that supposedly was put out did not kill all the cameras. So we have a child that's not seen leaving his home at all. And for the longest time, I thought 100% that he was taken out of that house when she drove out of that driveway that next morning. Then you see the flashlights. And you have to wonder, was he carried out then? Now, all the involvement at Texas Roadhouse, did he even make it home? So many questions linger, but yet, let me tell you, folks, supposedly, if we want answers, then we need to go to the dark side. Over yonder there in the swamps. Because the same man that went running to Texas Roadhouse to get a copy of that video is the same man that said he knows who was driving the 2 cars that night at 3:00 in the morning in the neighborhood. He has not reported it to law enforcement because he did not feel that it was important to the investigation. Now, what the heck? He's a private investigator. From what I understand, he is licensed in 1 state only. 1 state. But yet, he's going to make the choice whether it's important information to tell law enforcement or not. Make that make sense. We had been told himself, Clue and fiance, and they go out there and reenact all of it that night to try to figure out what this was. Well, they got it all figured out now. And guess what? It wasn't the mother or the stepfather. So they know who the cars are, allegedly. They have acted out the whole scene that happened at 3:00 in the morning, allegedly. And yet none of their stuff's been turned over to law enforcement. Make that make sense, folks. Make it make sense. You see, there's been some information I've found out along the way, and yeah, all my stuff's been turned in. Big, little, doesn't matter. You turn it in, and you let the people who know how to do their job properly make the decision if it's important or not. And no, I did not turn any of my stuff in to local county. I don't trust them. Never have, never will. When you find out that his sister's the one that works there, he has friends he went to school with that are working there, good buddies. When you hear that his mother vacations yearly with judges, with the mayors, with the police chiefs, all the things. The connections are so deep within that little area there that some people should really be excused from this case. Not accused, sorry. But they should. They should be taken out of this case. That statement that they put out proved 100% to me. And this is just my opinion, but I hear a lot of people making the same exact comments. They had no idea who Green Hoodie was, yet they had a phone conversation with Green Hoodie, and they ruled this person out. Really? It doesn't make sense. How are you going to do that when this woman stops and waits and makes an exchange with Katie Proudfoot? There's a game being played here. Whether it was a poker game and whoever the loser was the one that was elected to take care of the situation with Sebastian. Whether it is an accident that is being covered up, it's turned into like a game. And the more that gets put out, the more to their defense people are starting to come out of the woodworks. Here comes his mommy. Out of the woodworks, here comes his little niece. It's amazing. But yet we don't hear from Katie or Chris because they done stuck their foot up their own ass so far that they can't get it out. You can't go backwards. Melissa, thank you, and welcome to the Lollipops. Thank you, thank you. We love you. Thank you for being a part of us. So, and thank you all for those who have came in. I appreciate y'all. But when you have a mother and a stepfather that are going to just sit there and dig their hole a little deeper and a little deeper, and the cover up that is happening, there are going to be so many lives affected when it comes down to the end of the game. They have not just left it within a core group of 4. They've involved so many people now in the cover-up. The the people in that town, I have a feeling they're gonna be surprised at who was involved and how many. And guys, you've got this great team of people that have come in and are working hard. I mean, we're starting to get some answers here. But yet, you also still have the mother, the stepfather, his family, his friends throwing shade out there on those working so hard to find Sebastian. There's people that are getting threatened still to this day. It's not right. People go there to look for Sebastian. They go there to put out flyers for Sebastian. They spend their time looking for Sebastian when we have a mother and a stepfather who've yet to attend any vigil for Sebastian, which, according to what he told Seth on day 1, that this thing may go south and Sebastian may not be with them any longer. And yet Seth continues every day to go out there and look. And we have Mr. Chris who says vigils are for people who are dead. But yet he told the dad it's going south. And he still doesn't go to a vigil. Doesn't make sense to me to have a mother that is going to choose a husband and his family over telling the honest truth about what happened to her son. And guys, if she did nothing to him, okay. But she's also not telling the truth about what happened when they got home that night. She can't tell the truth because every time she spoke, it was different. And the truth doesn't change. She could not tell the same story twice, all the way through and completely. She has talked one time without her husband being there to talk for her. It's sad because she holds the key. And I thought we could listen to just a few words of Katie's when she went on Patrol Live. And she was speaking to them and did that interview. So hold on just a second. We're going to listen to this. It won't take just a few minutes. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. I'm going to make it bigger. I think. There we go. Okay, guys, I'm going to try this again. I don't know what happened with the audio. That was weird. But I'm going to try it again. Let's see if y'all can hear it now, okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Here we go. Y'all, that's crazy. Can y'all hear me okay? Can y'all hear me okay? I don't know, guys. Okay, we're going to try it again. I'll try to hook up again. Share screen. There's that. Okay, let's try it one more time, guys.
We're keeping the face and we're praying every day that we're going to find Sebastian.
What's the latest on the search?
So, law enforcement is exploring any and all possibilities. They're communicating daily with us about updates and the statuses. We have faith that all the law enforcement agencies involved are doing everything that they can, and we're going to find Sebastian and bring him home.
We know the most important thing right now is to get the word out about Sebastian. What would you like our viewers to know about your son?
Sebastian, he is high functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing. I'm so hungry. He's typically a very sweet boy. He can be quite temperamental though if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian's out there watching, what would you like to say to your son?
I would say, Bubba, we love you. We all love you so much. Wherever you are, just know that we are not going to stop. We're going to keep searching. We're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And if you ever get an opportunity, find a phone, find a safe adult, call 911. But I'd also like to ask our community to please keep searching your properties. Keep sharing his flyer. If you know something or you see something, please say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
We're going to do everything we can to help find him.
Thank you.
Now, let's take a good look at Sebastian. He's 15 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds, with light brown hair and brown eyes, and wears glasses. If you've seen Sebastian or know anything about his disappearance, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5670.
Okay, guys. Okay, so that's his mother talking about him. Next, we're going to listen to his father. All right, guys, here we go. Let's hear what Seth has to say.
When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately. He's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing. Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house. When I got there, there was already law enforcement presence there. So I walked in and just started listening to what was going on. So I got to hear her telling law enforcement asking questions, me listening to the questions and listening to the responses from his mother. And I just started watching body language, listening to words coming out. Did I form an opinion? Yeah. Something has happened to my son under her watch. And once again, she wasn't being an adult. She wasn't being a parent taking care of an autistic child. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call.
Okay. So, excuse me. All right. So, yeah, Seth went there. There's a missing child on her watch. It doesn't happen every day. I think that was the best interview Katie had done as far as describing Sebastian and who he was. I honestly wish we would have seen more of that from her. Seth is to the point to where he is getting angry. And there's no way I can blame Seth for the anger he's starting to feel right now. It's stages of grief. And he's going through each and every one of them. But that anger stage hits when you start realizing there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can change about what happened. And that's where his father is at. He can't just find his son. Everybody is going against him. And people want to talk about him being guilty. But Seth was at work. He's on camera. And what little time he wasn't on camera, he was not on camera long enough to go do something. But yet, we have the stepfather who wants to sit here and tell us all these things, but not whether he was at work that night or not, whether he was in Memphis or not. He's always asked. He skirts around it as much as possible. And that is one part of the story that's always been the same. That's one thing that can get to get Chris to tell the God's honest truth. He's going to skirt around it. He's going to say very little. And that is one thing Chris is stuck with. Listening to all of this, it makes you angry, makes you sad, it makes you confused even more sometimes. But everything that keeps getting put out there, that keeps bubbling up like a sore that's just getting infected, because there is a side that is causing the infection. It's not good. They have information and they're not going to share it with anyone, not law enforcement. If they thought it was information that was important enough and it had to do with Sebastian's case, they would share it. Well, there's a child that's missing and was missing around that time, possibly. But yet they're the ones making the call over there. It's a game, guys. We're playing a game. We have a side over here who just wants to talk about this child and find out where and possibly what could have happened. But we have the other side that plays games. They sent out an email that was given to them, and Stephen Fisher himself, in his words, said, I didn't understand why this email was important to put out. Oh, but now I do. No. Because it proved nothing. It proved that Seth did not want his child in the home that Katie and Chris were going to send him to, and he sought help from someone else and forwarded that information to him. Of course, the email didn't get put out. They made it as if Seth wants to look into this home, this home, this home. It was Seth's idea. That was their way of twisting and turning that around, and yet it backfired to those of us who believe in Seth. Because on their side, Seth's wrong. Seth's the bad person. They went as far as calling him a word that no man would ever want to attach to their names. And we have a sheriff that is going to put out information pertaining to Sebastian's case as if we're going to listen and read it and go, oh, okay. But yet we've already seen the video. No, because that don't match. A person doesn't stand there and wait for that person of that owns that car to come out and then do a handoff if they're just passing through. No, it doesn't work that way. But I don't know that we're ever going to be able to get past all this crap and possibly start working together. It would be amazing if it could happen. But then again, there is that other side that have no content unless they play us and make fun of us for what our beliefs are and our opinions are. So no, there'll never be this big come together meeting. And at the end of the day, it's still about Sebastian. And he gets lost in the middle. He gets lost when the game started being played. Whatever day that happened, whoever set that plan in motion, whoever came up with all the details, they started the game, and the clock's been ticking ever since. it's kind of funny because you have a man who's been married for, let's just say, several times. And yet he gets along with every one of them. He gets along with them, has no problems with them. You know, that's his words. Those are the words he said. I'm going to say no. I'll call BS on that one. But when you've got a person that's been married that many times, there's one common denominator, and that's him. That's him. But yet Katie seems to feel confident enough that she is the final wife. She has the in with the parents. She's playing their game as far as getting Chris and Nina's daughter back. She plays the game. She video records the mother freaking out when she got served. She recorded that. The horror that the mother was going through at that very moment was funny to Katie Proudfoot. And we're supposed to believe she loved her son enough to pass him off to her father, to his father. So all of a sudden, Chris's mother, the mommy, loves Katie enough to pull her into her bosom and just hold her tight like a child of hers. Well, Katie, let me tell you something. All of these Facebook posts I'm reading where your mother-in-law is coming out, speaking out and everything, she defends her son, and she said she always will. But Katie, your name was never mentioned, Katie. If you hear this, please take this one little bit and let it sink in. Go back and read the post. She does not mention you. She's in it to protect her son and only her son. But yet, Katie's the one that holds the key. Are they going to throw Katie under the bus and make her the only one, the only victim here that just did all the things by herself? Because hang on just a second. Okay. But yeah, go look for yourselves, folks. Kathy Gale, I think it was Kathy Gale, Kathy G. Bowersox. All these long posts, she's sitting there defending her son. And never once in any of those posts that she comes back at people does she mention Sebastian's mother. She's not in it for her. She's in it to protect her son because she wants that granddaughter. And he's not going to get his daughter if he's in an orange jumpsuit, probably yellow slides. And maybe some ankle bracelets. But until that day comes, we have to stay vigilant with putting Sebastian out there. We have to, because the other side obviously is not going to give information that they get. They're going to hold it and protect it like it's a little baby egg that's going to break open any minute. They're going to hold it in their little hands just like this. And that could be pertinent information. Very, very important information, but they're just going to hold on to their little baby information right here. I don't get that at all. Who are you to make that judgment call when it comes to a child's life? It's ridiculous. And anybody can go in and reenact anything they want to and make it into a story they want to. I don't give a crap. He says they come to the conclusion that there was a man taking his trash out that night. Did he have a mystery lover with him that ran back to the backside of her house, maybe? Is that what that was? That doesn't even make sense. Does not make sense at all. But hey, it's what we're getting from the other side, you know, because they got to protect everything. They have to twist and turn everything. We, as a group over here on this side, we see it for what it is. I don't know Seth. I believe Seth. And had it not been for his job and the type of job he had, I probably would be questioning Seth. But the type of job he does have, he clocked in, he can't leave until his shift is over. And yet, Katie and Chris had the emergency number to call to let them know something is wrong and Seth needed to leave on an emergency. But they didn't do it. They left Seth a message on his cell phone, which was in his car. Just gave him more time. That's all they did. And the first thing they tell him is, don't be mad. They should have just followed that up with, we lost him. We lost him. Don't be mad. We lost him. And Seth has a right to call Katie out for losing his son under her watch. And that's my opinion. Our Taylor, I hope your son is doing better. I've been praying for him. I really hope everything's going well there for you. You've been on my mind a lot. But folks, I'm going to read something here to you that, let me put it up here. Yes, TJ, I agree with that totally. Bad things always seem to happen when it's under their watch. Okay, here we go. I stand tall in the neighborhood, a facade of perfection, an all-American family, or so is the deception. We gather the black to mourn, to grieve. But our secrets are dark. Our hearts do not believe. Our courthouse, once strong, now lies in decay. A broken home where justice once would stay. We're far from the picture of the life we portray. Culpable and hidden in plain sight we sway. Who are we behind the mask we wear each day? Oh, this last one, don't know. Oh, there we go. It's his own words, not mine, yours, nor the interviewers. They're playing a game with this child's life, guys. It's nothing but a game to the mother and the stepfather and his family. It's a cover-up of some sorts. They're fighting hard to keep things covered up. They're fighting a battle that they will not win because truth always prevails. We're fighting a battle against people who don't seem to care much whether he's found or not. We're fighting this battle while other people bow down to their feet. While other people seem to play the game with them for clicks and views and money too. But I'll tell you this, if nothing else comes out of my channel, I hope people have seen Sebastian's face. I hope I have put his face out there into every hand that walk through the gates of these festivals we have in our town here. Every time I go on a trip, I take flyers and put them out into all the different places, different stops we make. I just hope and pray that I've done my job. And every night that God feels the honesty and the love from my heart in wanting to help this child. Because it's not a game for me. It's not a game. This is real. This is his life. This is what we're up against. These are the players in his life. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is real. The last video seen of him here, it's got to touch your heart. He's so well-mannered. He's sitting there having his meal with his mother while she takes pictures of him, and she does text messages and all the things. And yeah, I will ridicule her. Because if she knew this was his last time to be with her, his last meal to have with her, then it shows the lack of emotion and detachment she already had. And that's not cool. Folks, he's real. He's a person. If he's out there, he needs to be found. And this woman sitting at the table with him right here has the answers to what happened when they left Texas Roadhouse. Did he or did he not make it home? Did he or did he not stay in his room the entire time when they got home? Was there a thud or was there not a thud? Did you go to sleep at 10:30 on the couch? Were you studying? Were you talking on a phone call for 3 hours? What's the answers? What's the truth? That's all we want is the truth. And yet she's just almost too busy to even acknowledge that he's sitting there. And guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again. My goal is not to come on here and attack the parents. My goal is to come on here and tell you the truth and what I see and what I hear. And this is what we see. That is what we hear. We hear it in Chris's own words, not mine, yours, nor the interviewer. The words he gives away, the things that he says, the things that he does. It's all there in black and white, and we are fighting against it. And we're doing it only for Sebastian because he is the victim, not Chris, not Katie, not even Seth. Sebastian is the victim. And because of that, I want to keep fighting. I want this child found. I want to be able to help him in any way possible. But guys, thank y'all for sticking with me. Thank y'all for everything you do for this young man that is so handsome. That smile of his. Maybe one day we'll get to see it for real. Oh, how sweet. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Yeah, I agree with TJ Yova. The whole family's involved. I honestly believe if they weren't at the time, they are now. Somehow, some way, one way or the other way, it doesn't matter. They're all involved. But possibly, Gracie, possibly. You know, that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know what happened. Was it as simple as we got to get rid of him? He's destroying our marriage. And his mother made that choice. And they shipped him off somewhere. And now she has no idea what really happened to him because they're not in contact anymore with her. I don't know. I don't know. But the truth needs to come out because there are people that can find him. Instead of making crap up and putting it out there as if we're going to believe what he's telling us in a piece of paper compared to the video we've all seen with our own eyes. So, yeah, it's insane. It's crazy, and it's sadly where we're at. It's sadly where we are in this case. But in my opinion, they are gambling with his life. And that's sick to say. No one's life should turn into a game. They're not a chess piece that you move around here and there. It's wrong. It's not a video game. You don't just kill off the character and go on. It's not right. But to the people who live their life this way, it does seem to be normal. But I ask that if Katie ever watches this and listens to it, that she'll hear me when I say her mother-in-law is out there defending her son, but not her. Not her. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go. I hear my son playing the guitar down there, and I want to go just sit and spend some time with him. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I am feeling better. So, hopefully, everything will stay good and we'll be able to chat tomorrow some more. Come with your questions. Anything you're not understanding, anything that's confusing in this case, whatever questions you have, come with them. And tomorrow we'll do a day stream about noon. And we're going to talk about all the questions and try to figure out some answers together. So I thank you guys. Y'all are so sweet and so precious. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, I do appreciate it so much. Thank you, Melissa, for being a member and joining us. I'm going to be doing a members live here very, very soon, trying to work out the wording and how to go about everything I want to say. So anyways, but we're going to do something special for you guys. We might go on a field trip. You never know. But everybody have a good night. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Mwah. Love and hugs, everybody. Bye. Well, okay, now let's try it again. Bye.